Welcome to Numis Nerd, where hidden coins become hidden wealth.
Now, take a close look at this coin. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. A modern quarter. Bright, familiar, and something most people have handled thousands of times. But this is the 1999 D-quarter dollar, and it marks the beginning of one of the most important and widely collected coin programs in United States history. The year 1999 introduced the famous 50 state quarters program. For the first time ever, the U.S. Mint decided to redesign the reverse of the quarter every year to honor individual states. This program was created to spark public interest in coin collecting, and it worked beyond expectations. Millions of people who had never collected coins before suddenly started checking their change. The Denver Mint struck the 1999 D-quarter as part of the very first releases of this program. That alone gives it historical significance. It represents the starting point of a new era, when everyday coins became educational, collectible, and widely discussed across the country. On the obverse, the familiar portrait of George Washington appears, based on John Flanagan's classic design. The inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, and In God We Trust surround the portrait, along with the date 1999 and the D Mint mark indicating Denver. While the obverse looks traditional, the reverse is where the excitement begins. The first 5 states honored in 1999 were Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut. Each state featured a unique design highlighting its history and identity. These designs were seen everywhere, from pocket change to school classrooms, and they captured the attention of an entire generation. Because the program was so popular, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1999. As a result, many people assume these coins have no value beyond face value. But that assumption overlooks some important details. Condition plays a critical role. Most 1999 D-quarters were heavily circulated almost immediately. They picked up scratches, nicks, and wear from everyday use. Finding one is easy. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is far more difficult than most people realize. Collectors look for sharp strikes, clean surfaces, and strong original luster. Coins that were set aside early or preserved in rolls and mint sets stand out clearly from those pulled from circulation years later. High-grade examples can be surprisingly valuable. Errors also add another layer of interest. Some 1999 D-quarters were struck with minting mistakes, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and double details. These errors were accidental, but they dramatically increased collector demand when clearly visible. Certain state designs are known to show weak strikes or die wear, making strong examples even more desirable. Small differences that most people would never notice can mean the difference between a common coin and a collectible one. Another overlooked detail is how many of these coins were saved improperly. Coins stored loosely in jars or bags often suffer damage over time. Truly untouched examples, especially those certified by grading services, are much harder to find today. Recorded auction results show that top-grade 1999 D-state quarters have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars, depending on condition, error type, and certification. That is a powerful reminder that modern coins should never be dismissed too quickly. What makes the 1999 D-quarter special is not rarity alone. It represents a cultural moment, a time when millions of people rediscovered the excitement of coin collecting simply by checking their change. So if you ever come across a 1999 D-quarter dollar, take a moment. Look closely at the condition, examine the details, check for errors, and most importantly, never clean it. Cleaning can permanently destroy collector value, because sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins are the ones that started something extraordinary, and the beginning of a historic series might already be sitting quietly in your hand. Now take a close look at this coin. At first glance, it looks small, simple, and ordinary, a 1-cent coin that many people might ignore or dismiss without a second thought. But this is the 1909 S Lincoln 1 cent, and it holds a place in American coin history that few other coins can match. The year 1909 was a turning point for United States coinage. It marked the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and for the first time ever, a real historical figure appeared on a regular U.S. coin. Before this, American coins featured symbolic figures like liberty. The decision to place Lincoln's portrait on the cent was bold and controversial, but it changed U.S. coin design forever. This coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, identified by the small S Mint mark below the date. That single letter is what transforms an ordinary-looking penny into a legendary collectible. Compared to the Philadelphia and Denver issues, the San Francisco Mint produced a much smaller number of cents in 1909, making the 1909 S one of the lowest mintage Lincoln cents of its era. The obverse shows Abraham Lincoln facing right, with strong, sharp features when well preserved. The words, "In God we trust," appear above his head, while liberty and the date sit on either side. On the reverse, the classic wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. This wheat cent design would remain in use for nearly 50 years, but it all began here. Because these coins entered circulation during a time when saving coins was uncommon, many were heavily used. Most surviving examples show wear, especially on Lincoln's cheek, jaw, and coat. The wheat ears on the reverse are often weak or flat from years of handling. Finding a well-preserved example today is far more difficult than simply finding the coin itself. Condition is everything with the 1909 S1 cent. In low grades, it is still desirable. But as the condition improves, the value rises dramatically. Coins with original color, strong detail, and minimal wear are highly sought after by collectors worldwide. Even slight differences in grade can mean a large difference in value. This coin is also famous for its association with the even rarer 1909 SVDB variety. While this piece does not carry the VDB initials, its importance should not be underestimated. It stands on its own as a key date in the Lincoln Cent series and is essential for anyone attempting a complete collection. Authenticity is critical. Because of its value, the 1909 S cent has been widely counterfeited. Altered dates and added mint marks are common. Serious collectors always recommend professional authentication before buying or selling one of these coins. Recorded auction results show just how powerful this cent can be. High-grade examples have reached prices well into 5 figures, with some exceptional pieces selling for over $10,000 to $50,000, depending on condition and certification. That is an incredible transformation for a coin that once bought a piece of candy. What makes this coin special is not just its price, but its story. It represents a new era in American coinage, honors one of the nation's most respected leaders, and reminds us that even the smallest coin can carry enormous historical weight. So if you ever come across a 1909 S1 cent, slow down. Look closely. Do not clean it. Do not assume it is ordinary, because this tiny copper coin may be one of the most important pennies ever made, quietly holding a legacy far greater than its face value.